here in Afghanistan. BNC's Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent, co-host of The World Tonight, Nayyera Haq, joins us this morning. She's going to talk about Haiti, but we're going to start with Afghanistan. Good morning, Nayyera. We've been talking about President Biden and his speech yesterday, and what we want to do is play a little bit of it, and we're going to get your analysis. We're going to start with him actually defending his position, or the United States position, to leave Afghanistan. Let's take a listen.
I'm now the fourth American president to preside over war in Afghanistan. 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. I will not pass this responsibility on to a 5th president. I will not mislead the American people by claiming that just a little more time in Afghanistan will make all the difference.
Yeah, we've been trying to get out of Afghanistan for a while. I'm sorry. So we're trying. The president's starting with Obama. Donald Trump is the one that actually set the date for them to leave. I think it was going to be in May of this year. So how much of the blame when it comes to withdrawing of the troops or whatnot, and especially the evacuation, in your opinion, is going to the president from what you hear?
At the end of the day, the president did say the buck stops with him, and he is the commander-in-chief and the only one of 4 of them who ultimately withdrew from Afghanistan. But there was also some passing of the buck in that speech. Let's be clear. Shortly after stating that the United States needs to leave and that ultimately the Afghan people need to stand up for themselves, the president also said that the force that the United States trained didn't stand up to the Taliban, didn't want to fight that war. And, the U.S. military, if it is the greatest in the world, should be able to train in a manner in which people can stand up to forces within their own country. And that's what's really difficult for folks I've been talking to at the Pentagon right now. Because here's the thing, Mike, they actually knew. They actually knew the Afghan forces weren't ready. Why? Because the billions of dollars that have been spent in training and equipping and paying them, that money never made it down to that person on the ground at some rural provincial outpost who now has to face the Taliban on their, as they're advancing on them. They had not been paid in some places up to 6 months. They had very little food. Their ammunition and their machinery has been falling apart. So the corruption and the grift is very real in the structures in Afghanistan. That's what the United States was really never able to solve for or actually really understand. I think that's what President Biden, at the end of the day, decided that that's what he was not going to pass on for another American president to have to solve, particularly when we aren't able to solve for many of these same problems here in the United States.
No.
Quickly, Nayyera, I got a quick follow. I'm sorry. You're saying the money didn't reach its intended destination on the ground. Where was the money going?
You had, in many circumstances, ghost soldiers, right? The folks that are listed on paper and they have, all the numbers and the information that would show that you have an employee, but that person actually never existed. So it's commanders and higher up, elites in the Afghan society who really saw the United States as a cash cow. There's another story coming out of in 2010 during the Obama administration, and this is part of the problem of trying to build up nations versus keeping a tight strategic objective. They were making a road to go from Kabul to connect all the major cities, called the Ring Road, supposed to go all around the country. Great idea. We all know the grift in construction here in the United States. It was only worse in Afghanistan because they not only had private contractors, those private contractors who were building it were then paying the Taliban not to bomb the road. And what do you think the Taliban were doing in retaliation? Killing U.S. soldiers who were using that road.
Nayyera, let's turn to Haiti, if we can, the dire situation there. It seems like that's not the first time this year that we've uttered that sentence. The death toll now at more than 1,400 people, the Coast Guard, the Navy moving into position. What more can this administration do for the people of Haiti?
At the moment, the Navy is doing reconnaissance flights to get a sense with aerial images of what the devastation really is. The Coast Guard is now offshore, and they have specialized doctors and specialized medical equipment to help those who are in dire need and can't get physical aid. on the island. What we don't know at this point is if the United States will actually end up sending boots on the ground as part of a broader humanitarian mission. And here's the challenge, right, Sharon? You know this. There has been a significant challenge of U.S. military being wrapped up in Haiti's history. This administration went to great pains to make sure that the U.S. military was not involved in any of the politics following the assassination. But this may be the moment because American troops and development folks are trained for disaster assistance. And so we'll be keeping an eye on if this is the moment that we end up with boots on the ground. We do know that there are 14 military members who are there to help provide assistance. But this is not something, as you said, Sharon, the moral high ground here is to help those in need. This is not something that people in dire, devastating circumstances, whether in Haiti or the women and children in Afghanistan, can do on their own.
Yeah, you just hope that as we enter another country to render aid, and that's something that we've done and have done well over the course of time, that we are there to support and uplift the people of Haiti and the interests of the people of Haiti. Nayyera Haq live in Washington for us. Thanks for starting your day with us, getting up early, adding some context here. We're going to look for you tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern, on The World Tonight. Nayyera, thank you.